today I'm going to talk about as an influencer. You know what is influencer? We call it 达人 or
influencer.
Influencer, we call it
The
influencer.
new term, right?
Yeah, influencer.
Today, learn something.
Okay, so
Influencer.
but actually in the literature, in marketing, especially in marketing, we had long history studying influencer, but recently getting more and more popular. Okay, so today, I thank you so much for coming. During the break, I did talk to some of the influencers,
Yes.
like them, and had a short interview. I found it very interesting. They have the charisma to attract people, audience. However, tonight I will show you some of my research. Okay, show you my research. What did I do? What I find for my study. The thing is, how many of you have had as an influencer experience? Raise your hand. One, two, okay, 3, 4, wonderful. So how many of you have systematically studied the branding? Oh, wonderful. Okay, so most of you not. Okay, it's great. So I think it's fundamentally important to understand what is fundamental. If I lecture branding, it will be a whole day. The whole semester class for branding. If I talk about AI, it will be another day. But today I only have 10, 15 minutes. So how can I embrace everything in 15 minutes? It's amazing, right? Okay, I'll show you. First of all, how many of you seen this photo before?
Yes, we just saw
You
it.
saw this?
It's trending right now.
Yes.
The day before yesterday.
Yes.
He got married.
Trending.
It also says your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married. Okay, okay. The question is, Taylor Swift is the most influential. We can say it definitely is the influencer, right? But the question is, what's the impact? Well, as I understand, she is the richest artist in the entire world. Wow, that's your future, okay? Think about it. Now, the question is, as an influencer, how do you, in other words, how do you, using the concept in your practice, for example, and also the branding together, especially at AI's time, how do we make all things together? And based on my research, and I try to pull them together using some data from Spotify. How many of you have heard of Spotify? Okay, wonderful. Wow, you guys must be here. Otherwise, nobody. Okay, Spotify. So what I do is I will mainly cover a few things. I'm not going to prepare a lot of slides. I'm not going to show you all of them. But some of the things I think are extremely important, even though it's fundamental, very important, simple, but we need to know. The question is, for example, let's say some of the influencers last long. And like Taylor Swift used to be not independent. They use a lot of another influencer, to help her to get famous. But later on, they don't need that. She doesn't need them. So now she is so-called independent artist or independent singer. So she's doing all the promotion, all the influencing work by herself, and her team too. And so the thing is, I think Dartmouth Professor Kevin Keller, he is the most influential marketing professor so far. And he published a book about branding. He says, strong brands are built in the mind of the consumer. In other words, during the break, I asked some of one of the influencers, I said, can you tell me, you've been doing this for a while, can you tell me, close your eyes, think about it. Can you picture who are your followers? Maybe not just one group, it's okay. You can segment them into different groups, but at least you have some clear picture about who they are, what they want, how they think of you. And she said, well, I don't know exactly. the question is, we have to. In other words, what is the main is about branding is? Okay, at least the four things I mentioned here. First of all, like, who are you? For example, Rebecca today showed us the car, but also some of the things in the back seat over there. What is she doing? Well, some of them we never seen it. I have a lot of questions I didn't ask you. For example, for the lawnmower, I saw it's so small, but I have 1 acre of land. The grass, what is the grass? It's very too small. But anyway, at least I know this is existing. So in other words, I know who are you. In this case, not only you have two identities. First is Rebecca, because Rebecca is here, so the influencers are here. But also the product, the brand she introduced, we also need to know. So this is the first thing. Secondly, the meaning. What are they? What are you? In other words, you tell people. So for example, let's say performance, like lawnmower, they will do your grass for it. For example, if I have a machine like this, I don't need to hire a group of landscaping people to do it every week. So this is not only I can be proud of myself, but also money saving. And secondly, what about you? In other words, the product is not just performing. The influencer is not performing, but also what is unique about it. Okay, and sometimes later we're talking more about it. For example, when you introduce the product, but sometimes you need to think about further things. For example, let's say today the car in front of us, we get a very happy impression. But if you go further, for example, Dr. Wu asked a question about how long the car can run per day or per charge, and then if you charge how many minutes, I was impressed. They can 300 or something, right? And also, 80% of the electricity can be charged in 20 minutes. Amazing. But the question is, did Chris or what is the white guy's name?
John Shitty.
John Shitty, okay. Thank you, John. So in other words, before you give the presentation, did you do some research or ask people around what are in their mind? What kind of questions they're concerned about? Okay. So then, for example, let's say the car is driven by artificial intelligence. Okay. So this is but I didn't hear he talk about more about this. So later on we ask the question. My question is, so when we talk about what about you, means the products you have to think about what is the consumer's concern. What is the audience? For example, you do the influential as use what do you use? What do you use? Like YouTube? Oh, wonderful. So do you? I'm sure you constantly communicate with your audience, with your followers, right? So you get feedback from them.
Yeah.
Okay, this is one. So the next question is more important is, what about you and me, the relationship? And have you ever thought about why people follow you? Because you're spontaneous. What else?
I like that. People just like how, like, if you're doing something random, people just want to keep up with that. Like, if you're up to something new, people want to know. Like, oh my God, she's so random. Like, I want to know what she's doing next. That's what really like attracts people on TikTok.
Wonderful.
The spontaneous.
Thank you so much. Yes, spontaneous. And sometimes, for example, let's say Taylor Swift. Why is Taylor Swift so successful?
Her music, her marketing strategy, because she's a genius. Like, that's why she's a billionaire. Because she knows how to profit off of her audience.
Wonderful, wonderful. And maybe some other things. For example, her storytelling nature, right? That's one. And also her performance. She's not just singing, but also performance altogether, and storytelling and everything. She's also a songwriter herself. So all things, you think about it, there are so many factors. In fact, in my research, we collected all the 14 different variables Spotify provided. We're trying to find out which one is more important than the other. Without a big data, you cannot find it. So this is something I want to tell you more later on. But first of all, today, I think, okay? So today we also needed to think about. So for example, I'm not going to go all this. So I'm going to skip a few things and then okay. Now, especially, what is AI's role today? I'm sure a lot of people using AI to create content, help you, maybe image, right? The question is, what else they can do for us? And especially, we are trying to go beyond the enable. For example, they will help you to find out. But remember that the AI, it only can help you for what they have seen, the machine seen, right? In other words, for example, let's say I have a group of people, and this is a communication I had. Then you tell AI, so what I should say to answer this question. They'll provide something for you. But sometimes, are you sure what they said is what you wanted? Have you tried? Do you think that every time you follow what the AI said or something, doesn't make sense? Sometimes. Okay. So anyway, so when things are not so complicated, you can use your judgment, use experience. But when you have tons of variables, then you get confused. I'll give you one example. Okay, I'll go here. For example, what do you see here? What do you see here? Snow. Okay, what else?
Honestly, I'm going to be so real. I see like the shadow of a tree and I see leaves.
And what else?
Footsteps.
I need one more thing.
Animal?
Yeah, what kind of animal?
Deer?
Fox.
What do you say?
More deer.
Do you see a dog? Do you see what kind of dog is that? Dominion. With dot in the right? So, in other words, humans are always difficult to identify the pattern. So we need help. This is one thing. Secondly, and if we think about weather, every day is different. If you look at each day, temperature in the morning, this morning is 50 something, but now it's 80. Okay, hot. But from the long run, you can see the pattern, right? But the pattern can be easily drawn by AI, for example. This is a question I always ask. So, which horizontal line in the middle, the two horizontal line, right? Which one is longer? Or they're the same? Same. Okay. So we just why you say same? Because it's based on your judgment, right? Are you sure? I'll show you. You are totally wrong. So this is saying sometimes our human's judgment is limited, and especially when we today we have a lot of things to concern. Let's just think about the case, no matter what you do, for example, let's say, as an influencer, the most important thing is I want to understand what exactly my followers want me to do or want from me. For example, the personality or my story. Do you share them your story, your personal story sometimes? Yes, your story, okay. So story sharing. But that's not it. In fact, you can list more than 100 different ways. You imagine, if you have dealing with 100 different things, it's very difficult human to deal with it. It's very, very difficult human to deal with it. For the college management, we have, I didn't bring the photo here. Every year, we have Harvard School too. We have lots of applicants. But among the applicants, you have to select those you believe might be successful in your MBA program, for example, right? The question is, if every school is like China, your score is added up, so you have one number, and then you can rank the order, then it's very easy. But in America, that's not the case. For example, you have your personal statement about why you want to apply this school. You have your TOEFL, GMAT, or GRE scores. You have the school you had your undergraduate, and for example, your GPA, and the school ranking, and also your quantitative score and verbal score. That quite a few different things. And one of the things I always ask my students, I said, okay, there are 7 candidates and 7 criteria. If you are the MBA director, who do you believe, which one will be more likely to be successful? Only 7 by 7, 49. Only 49 numbers. The MBA director, they do it all the time. But in fact, based on our research, find the likelihood they make sure is that they are correct is only 20%, 19%. In other words, some of the students, they didn't admit, they might be more successful. But if we use AI to do it, the accuracy will increase at least 3 times. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you one thing from my study. I know. Okay. For Taylor Swift, right? As I just mentioned, Taylor Swift's popularity because she's the richest artist, very popular, and she's also an influencer. But for many other singers, they follow the long tail theory. In other words, like Bob, Dr. Wu, maybe some of you guys, and not like Taylor Swift. Maybe some will, on the right side, on the tail side. But no matter what, not you, not me, but we always like to move from right to left. So how do we know? For example, based on my research, the paper is published already. Based on my study we get data from Spotify. We have 14 different variables. For example, when you hear Taylor Swift, you hear they have measure about danceability, means in Chinese it means 闻歌起舞. So how likely you feel excited, you want to dance, or energy level, 2 minutes. Okay, I'll be quick. Okay, so anyway, so based on our study, we used the AI method, like a predictive method, random forest. And later we use Bayesian optimization, trying to see, not only identify the most important factors, second important, third important, also an optimal combination of the factors. So in other words, based on the data, I can give recommendations to Professor Wang and maybe Xiaosun, and then based on your song and people's reaction to it, what area you can be doing more, what area you should do less, or what is the best combination? In other words, make you more popular, and later on, one day you become Taylor Swift. Okay, thank you. By the way, do you want to know what is the position I am? So I'm not Taylor Swift, but I'm not at the end, right? Have you seen my
American Western Academy and the Boston International Business School, the letter of appointment. The Boston International Business School sincerely appoints Dr. Raymond Liu as a visiting professor of brand management and marketing, signed by the president of American Western Academy, Li Yarong. Congratulations, and me.
Thank you.
Vice President.
And me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And
Thank you.
hold this for pick.
Thank you.
Hold it. Okay, over there. Hold it.